Hi, Randy Crabtree with Trimerit and host of the Unique CPA podcast. Here today with Ellen Choi, co-founder of Aiwyn. We are recording live at the Unique CPA and Trimerit's conference, Bridging the Gap. Ellen had a session already earlier today, and we'll definitely talk about that. But Ellen, thanks for being part of this interview.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, so gonna ask a few questions. First one though, we'll get into your session because I'm really interested in how that went. But conference in general, any thoughts on what you've seen so far from the conference?
I mean, I will have to say that this is a very unique conference, just like the Unique CPA. So great job on being on brand.
Thank you.
I flew in from San Francisco last night and I travel a lot for work and I am not a morning person. But this morning when we started the conference session at 8:30 a.m. started out with a rap song and a video performance with in live performance. I have to say that was way better than any coffee or tea or any caffeine that I could have had to wake me up. And I can say genuinely, I have never gone to a conference where it started out with a rap song performance. So well done on really having a very effective beginning, of the conference this week.
Yeah, thank you. I had a feeling that the rap would energize people.
Absolutely.
It was pretty interesting. We filmed that. I mean, it was a live performance here with the video running behind, but we filmed that out in San Francisco a few weeks ago, and then the beginning was out in Denver a few days later. But yeah, it was. I had a feeling that would get the crowd going today from an energy standpoint. So.
Absolutely amazing. Yep. And I think the one thing that I really appreciate about the Bridging the Gap conference is this focus on mental health and wellness, but that's a very well-rounded solution, that's required to really solve for that. So, the fact that you have a wellness room to really take care of, the mind and the body, but we also have sessions on technology and AI and, using ChatGPT, it's a very holistic approach to kind of looking at the problem in our industry of how do we prevent burnout, how do we actually have a thriving, career, professional, personal life, and all of that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. It's so you just mentioned it, AI and things. So your session today was, and I don't remember the title, but it was something about AI lessons from a CEO, or what was the name of the title today?
Yes, lessons learned from a professional CEO. And we had 3 of us on the panel, which was such a great mix of diverse perspective, Blake, Andrew, and myself. Yep. And we are all founders of companies in the space. Some of us with more direct accounting backgrounds, other people coming in kind of more with a fresher perspective, and we were just really able to share kind of what we're doing behind the scenes, how we're leveraging, and what I really appreciated about the session was that we had lots of people asking questions and jumping in and answering questions on other people's behalf, and just really having a very organic conversation that wasn't just us talking at people, because I always think that's really boring. Right. It's always better when people are very engaged, and people were very engaged in the topic, and it's just so clear that there's just so much interest and awareness in generative AI, ChatGPT, and people are still trying to figure out how do we best sort of leverage that for better mental wellness and more capacity and more free time and how to thrive.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And so from that standpoint then, you are co-founder of a company that's working with technology.
Yes.
You and I have talked about this before, but you are also, integrating AI into your platform. Want to explain how AI is working with you and your platform, and what that user experience will be then as well?
Absolutely. So just to set some very simple context. At Aiwyn, we are building automation technology that's AI powered for the revenue cycle. And what I mean by that is from the moment that a firm wins a client, that onboarding engagement letter process all the way to collecting payments for the work that's been done, there's multiple steps that go into that back office, workflow, and we take different steps of it and we automate, we create a modern frictionless experience. For example, a client portal, automated collections reminders, ability to collaborate on a bill and write downs, client onboarding. So in the context of all of that, there's so much opportunity to embed AI. And one thing that we talked a lot about during our session this morning was how people are using ChatGPT and other self-serve tools on kind of like their own current process. Like, for example, I have to write a client, email that's like very sensitive. Now you're doing the same thing, but with ChatGPT, it's like better and faster and simpler, all of that good stuff. So we can integrate all of that into our software, and we're working on that very actively. For example, you could imagine sending out personalized collections emails to clients, who haven't paid their bill and have a very large sum. By looking at their history, you can kind of tell what's the tone that we should take, how should we ask for this, and ChatGPT and LLMs are all very good at that. But another, like the next tier of frontier that we're really excited about is actual like organizational transformation and transforming the process and the workflow at the core itself with AI acceleration. So one example is nobody likes entering time, but we all do it. Yep, I haven't found a single person who actually says, I want to continue, timekeeping.
Right.
So yeah, from our perspective, but that there's such a big mental, hurdle to that, and there's a lot of like data, information, technology, like comfort level, and all of that has to happen. With AI, we're actually embedding the ability in our software to do value-based pricing, like actually recommend pricing up front so that you don't have to keep, track of time. And all of these things are just really like accelerated, simpler, and we're able to do it and bring it to market in a much faster time frame because of all of the really exciting AI like advancements.
That's amazing. So if you get rid of time tracking,
yes,
you can take over the world. that is the worst thing. And honestly, and you and I may have talked about this before, I don't recall for sure, but I think just selling hours is just so backwards to everything that we really should be doing. And so when you talk about using AI to predict pricing, I think that is truly amazing.
Thank you. And I just really love Dawn's point earlier this morning on like changing mindset, take bold steps. Instead of billing your time, think about your value. You're actually worth probably twice, more than what you think you want to be charging your client. Like, being able to kind of help our customers, our profession, make that transition, with AI-powered technologies to have like higher confidence and like, yes, based on all this data, all of this really great technology, like this, you can have better like fidelity in whatever is a recommendation. We think that that's really exciting.
And is this currently or in the software? Is this something we're working on? What phase are we at?
Yeah, we're working on it with the closed kind of pilot firms now, but it's something that we definitely are looking forward to bringing to market in terms of that value-based billing, ability to help the firms understand profitability of an engagement before they actually like bill for that, right? Project.
Because the one thing I'm like, okay, we don't need to bill by the hour. You don't need to, check the profitability of every single job. There has to be other tools out there that'll do that for you. And this is what you're doing now. Now I feel much better about the future of our profession because we can get past this billing by the hour and still give the accountants the comfort level that, yes, I know it's going to be a profitable job.
Absolutely. And when we started with our company, we were always really focused on the revenue cycle. And you could think about it in two ways. One is the optimization of the bottom line, which is the profitability, which is all about like after the work is done, can you write off less, can you bill faster, accelerate? But we think that there's also a really big opportunity in lifting the top line of the revenue, which is really exciting, which is at the point of actually engaging the client, can you charge twice as more, 3 times as more, right? Like that is very, very powerful in terms of helping firms, thrive and solving the capacity problem.
Yes, I was thinking the exact same. Capacity, thrive, make more, bill more, work less, better work-life balance.
Yes.
And that is, you were fitting in perfectly with the theme of our conference. Do you want to host it next year?
I don't know. It's a lot of work. So from what I see from all the work that you've done so far.
It is a lot of work,
Yes.
and marketing has done a great job of this.
Yes.
I'm getting a lot of great feedback from people on the conference, and we're almost at the end of day one.
Yes.
And I'm very, very happy with what I've seen so
I've
far.
had such a fantastic time, and everyone that I've spoken with have been so innovative, welcoming to new ideas, really interested in solving this problem, and it's just such great energy right now.
I think so. So to pivot a little bit then, just since
Yes.
we're talking about the conference, anything specific you're looking forward to today or tomorrow? Well, we have a big gala event tonight.
Yes.
I don't know if that's something that you're looking forward to.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if the 8:30 a.m. wrap session was any indicator, I think the ending of the day one with the gala event will be just as a spectacular bookend, to the day. I am in particular interested in automation, AI technologies, and just kind of looking forward to hearing more on that topic from a lot of the thought leaders here today and tomorrow.
Are you going to attend the AI session that's tomorrow?
I am planning on it.
All right, you could probably ask some nice questions from the audience for that group.
Yeah,
so.
that's right. Absolutely.
so-
Maybe some hard questions.
Yeah, give him the hard.
Yeah.
Jason Statz is on that. Give him as hard a question as you can think of.
Okay, I will start thinking now.
All right. So as we start to wrap up here, just one, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the panel this morning.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that went well. Maybe just a couple final thoughts on AI in general and what to expect, and do we need to fear anything? I'm making a loaded question here.
Yeah.
But just kind of a wrap up on what you think AI is going to be doing for us.
Absolutely. So at the beginning of our session, we actually took a quick poll and we asked two questions. Do you fear AI or are you optimistic about AI? And I mean, overwhelming majority of almost all the room raised their hand on the second question, which was super encouraging for us to see.
So they're optimistic.
Very optimistic, yes. Some of us, including myself and Andrew, we raised our hand for both questions, so I think we could be both, right?
Nope, makes sense.
Absolutely, but there's just so much, energy and this desire to really learn and harness the power of AI, and our session and other sessions that I've gone to today so far have kind of all very on point in terms of people sharing, their best practices, like very concretely, practically, this has worked, this has not worked, what do you do, how do you set up the practice? So I think for me, like, this conference is a really great, another data point that as an industry, we really are figuring things out together, and I'm very excited to see, where all of that leads us and, how that goes. In terms of, and I think kind of the evergreen question is, will AI replace humans and jobs? And, we talked a little bit about that. But, the current generation of the LLM models and the generative AI, like, it's not good at computation, so I think it's like, because it's not as good at math or accountants, I think it's just fine.
We're good?
Yeah, you're good. But what it is really good at is understanding ambiguous situations and coming up with really great recommendations. And one of the topics that we talked about was, from our industry perspective, moving from compliance to advisory, like how can AI help us with that transition? There's just so many opportunities, from time savings, from the automation, all the way to actually helping us become better advisors with ChatGPT and asking it for opinion and sounding board and really stress testing, our advisory assumptions. So I think that ability to elevate like our kind of advisory skill set is super exciting as well.
I think so. I think it's going to be very helpful for us going forward to help with efficiencies within that practice. So, well, Ellen, this has been a great conversation. I always enjoy talking to you. I appreciate you being part of this, and thank you again for being part of the conference.
Thank you for having me.
Yep.